I'm on here a minute early, so I don't want to make a big splashy hello, but I know some of you are waiting. Yay! Happy Sunday, everybody. Hello, hello, Kasha. Kasha's there. Hello. Yay. I'm just gonna babble on a bit until we get some people coming in to the class. I have to say, I mean, it's just been an amazing, amazing weekend, like so inspiring. And I haven't even been able to watch everything. And, oh, okay, so I'm just reading the chat. Yeah, okay, everything's all good. Hi, Michelle. Yeah. Tracy, my head is spinning with ideas. Isn't that just, I know. And it's such a good thing that we're able to watch these videos for a little while still, because there's just so much, the head's exploding, right? Like you don't even want to sleep. I don't think, like I don't. So yeah, it's just amazing. Michelle, yeah, from Pennsylvania. So good to see you too. Kimberly, your hubby cooked every meal. That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I'm not available. You got to do the cooking. My son too, he's actually visiting me right now, and or staying with me. I guess he's not a visitor, but he's 21, and there's been some times I'm like, I need you, you know, so I hear you. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Hello, yes. Sally, I'm gonna sleep on Wednesday. I love that. That's fantastic. I'm so honored to be the last live lesson of the weekend, and after this we have the quiz. So excited about the quiz. And then I believe we have 2 other sessions after that to finish off our weekend that are recorded, and it's just so exciting, and I'm so honored to be here with you. And if you have signed up for Wanderlust already, then you have a taste of what is in store, or maybe you signed up with Wanderlust in previous years and you just know how, you know, life altering it really is. And if you haven't, but you've really enjoyed the weekend and maybe you're on the fence about things, then I can tell you from my own personal experience, it changes who you are, and it changes who you are as an artist. It just does, and you meet people and you make friends, and you know, it just expands you. You don't know really where it's going to take you, but I'll tell you what, you cannot wait for that video on Friday. Like, it is so exciting. Like, you work your whole week and it keeps you going. It really does. I can truly say that, and I think most people would agree. I'm just trying to read a few things on the chat, because I'm on my phone, which isn't normally the way I operate. I usually have my fancy cameras, but that's just the way it is this weekend. I know those of you who have, you know, taken my classes and seen my classes, you know that I do everything quite professionally, but I have to have this in a vertical position because that's just what YouTube is wanting me to do. I'm not happy about it, but you know what? We are together, and we're going to create, and we're going to get inspired, and I think that's the most important thing here. Just want to see if I can respond to a few people. So I'm going to flip the camera now, my friends, and I just won't be able to see the chat while I'm creating because I have to have my camera, you know, above. So from time to time, I'll see if I can pop in. If you have a question for me or a comment, you can certainly leave it in the classroom. You can also send me a message on Instagram, and I'll try and read the chat after on the replay just to see if, you know, anybody has any other questions or comments. Michelle, so true. I look forward to Art Fridays. Okay, I think it's Joan. Joan, I'm gonna just love to read your message in a minute. I better get started. I don't want to bore you here. My name is Chris, or Christine, doesn't matter, and I'm just really happy to do some art journaling again with you today. We're gonna do something completely different than we did the last 2 sessions if you happen to join me. Okay, here we go, flipping it around. Very high tech here, my friends. Very high tech. I know. Don't worry, I know that's in the way. I see that. My camera just slipped a little bit, so I have to kind of move it. You know, these are the fun things with lives. Like, it's like you could make a blooper reel, maybe. I don't know. Could you? Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna, well, you know, it was just perfect, like about 5 minutes ago, and then it just kind of went funny now. We got cords and things in the way. Oh my goodness me. Okay. Well, this is like a really fun time. Seriously, I'm not sure what the issue is here because everything was just so super perfect just before we got on. It really, really was. And my screen is now dark because it's telling me my orientation is locked. Could you guys actually, I can't really see what's going on here. Could you guys just let me know if we're going vertical and we can see? Lori says looks good now. Okay. Anna says it's fine. Looks good. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. That's great. Sorry, I have to really zoom in there. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Cheryl, I'm finally live with you. Yay, Cheryl. Amy, perfect. Thank you, Amy, for your feedback. I really appreciate it because it's just like, oh my gosh. I tell you, I actually love filming. I really do, and editing and the whole thing. But I mean, when it's just not cooperating the way you want it to, doesn't make me happy. Okay, now, using my same art journal that I did the last 2 days, just this Canson one here, okay. And we're going to start our blank page by gluing on just some neutral papers, really. Go through your stash and see what you have. For a small page like this, obviously you don't need much. You don't have to cover the entire page. It's just kind of, you know, a really simple, quick way to add something onto the blank page to get started. And also some of this text and lines and color will peep through, and that's kind of what we want because it's getting the first layer of texture and interest, really, isn't it? I'm using my Liquitex matte gel, but certainly you can use whatever you want. Just like everyone has their own preference, so it doesn't matter what you're doing here. And just randomly, you know, like no rhyme or reason. It's just like really simple first layer here. We aren't gonna go crazy with paints today because we're actually going to be doing some journaling again. Yeah, that's crazy, journaling in an art journal. I wrote a post about that just a little while ago on my Instagram, and I said, like, who does journal in their art journal? Because sometimes we can get caught up in this has to be this beautiful work of art, and I have to have the font just perfect, and I have to, you know, I can't possibly use my own handwriting, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's easy to fall into that trap, isn't it, I think? But I was just kind of putting the word out there, like, well, who does actually journal? And some people said, well, you know, it depends. You know, sometimes, yeah, I do, and if I need to, if I really need to have that self-expression. And some people said, yeah, then if I'm not doing it, well, then I just want to make a fancy page or whatever. And I think that's totally a great answer. Like, it really does depend on, you know, what your purpose is that day you're creating. Maybe you really have something to work out, and you definitely want to write. And some days you just don't want to. You just want to have, you know, a sentiment or something, and that's just perfectly fine. But anyway, what about you guys? Who likes to journal? Who doesn't? Who doesn't mind writing in their own handwriting? Okay, I'm gonna get my glasses. I'm gonna stand up a little bit just so see if I can read that chat. Oh my gosh, it's so dark. I can hardly read it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to come back to that. It's just sorry, my friends. Are we still centered? Yes, we are. Okay. That racket is, you know, my chair, as you probably guessed. Oh, that's not coming up. I'll leave it like that. That's my chair on my floor, and you know, I may as well just tell you that I am in my new studio, my filming room actually, And then my chair is just a concrete floor, so it makes a lot of racket. I don't have a carpet under there or anything, but I don't really mind because, you know, the floor's just, it quite possibly could get wrecked in here. And you don't have to worry about it because you can always paint the floor if you want to. Those of you who are on the other side of the world from me, I'm in Canada. It's later for you, so I'm just, you know, if you're still up, that's just amazing and awesome, and have a good lie-in tomorrow. And I think for those people who are working, I think a lot of people might have a holiday tomorrow, hey? It's kind of a nice thought. Okay, some of this paper is just so nice. You know, I actually just hate to cover it up. Gosh. But we'll try and let some of it peep out. Okay. So, there we go. I'm going to just stop there, I think. Yeah, it's fine. Or do I want to keep going? Oh, I just can't stop. Okay. One more. Maybe. But then I just do too much. You know, does that happen to you? That certainly happens to me. Okay. Okay, let's just stop there. Okay. So don't be precious about where you're putting these papers, because you know when you come to the end, you're gonna see that we're going to actually make a little flap. We're actually going to add some other elements in here, like some fabric. Okay, so don't wait. You know, when you're starting, just put the paper everywhere. Don't worry about where this is going just yet. We'll come to that. So now it's your decision on what colors you want to go with here. We're going to add a bit of acrylic paint. I say a bit, but then I always get overzealous. I don't know. Does that happen to you too? I myself am going to stick with a more of a neutral palette today, just because that's what I want this look to be. And so I've got white, Titan Mars Pale, Titan Buff, Nickel Azo Yellow, and this is quinacridone Gold. And so I have to just make a decision now what I want to do here. I'm thinking, you know, we'll mix some colors for sure, the white, and it's up to you. Maybe you just want to have some color in there instead of this white. I do have more white. If that doesn't work out, get some more. And I feel like I might want to have this one. And do you know about this tool? Like, I can never open these paint tubes. Does that happen to you, or is that just me? Like, and so I had the pliers going and everything, and it just, you know, was a disaster. So I found this at an art store where I used to live, and I used it so much eventually it broke, and then I went and bought two. So if you ever find anything like this, I can tell you it is just an amazing tool. Really, it's just great. Now I don't want to add too much here because, you know, just because I do want the paper to peep through. We do want the paper to peep through. A little bit of Titan Buff. Ooh, that's a big blob. I feel like, oh my gosh. So I interrupted myself because that is white with this quinacridone Gold, and oh, I love that. I'm sorry. I get excited about these things, but I do love that very much. And it's just quite beautiful to me. But of course, like I'm saying to you, do you do you, and you use the colors that you want to here, okay? I mean, if you don't even want to use a brush because you feel like, oh, maybe you'll be a little bit too heavy-handed, you could use a card, an old plastic card or a catalyst tool or something like that. And I love this color in here. I don't even know that I actually want to paint that in too much. I love to mix the paints in like you see here, but I'm kind of liking this blobby look here. I think I might just keep that. Okay. And this is, it's like a really good way to warm up your page. You know, I mean, you don't even have to go to the edge like I am here. You can leave some white spaces. And how do you know how much paper to cover up here? Like, how do you know? Well, I think if you just add a bit of paint at the beginning and you don't go too heavy-handed and just go lightly, then I think that's really a good way to start, and then just judge it. Like if it's bothering you, there's just too much peeping out here, well, then just lightly go over it too. Another great tip, I do this a lot, is just use my finger, because well, I don't know, I like the feel, and also I like how it just smudges a little bit different than the brush. And you know, that's about all I'm gonna actually even put on there. I think I just am really liking that, although maybe a little tiny bit there, just a little bit. Maybe that's okay. I don't actually like that, so I guess we'll just leave it like that, or will we? You know, and I talk about so often about just working intuitively, and you make a mistake and you don't like something there, like I just did. Well, don't fret, just, you know, just move forward, just keep moving forward. And a lot of times, you know, we're doing so many layers that it might just get covered up anyway. It just, don't get too precious about the mistakes. And in fact, somebody was texting me the other day, or they posted their page that they did and tagged me, which was awesome. And I love when you do that, so I can, you know, be a part of your journey, and I can comment and just give you some love. And I love to do that. So I encourage you to do that as well, whether it's in the classroom or on Instagram. But she was saying, I embraced my mistake today. And I was, you know, applauding her, because, you know, sometimes that's a big hurdle to get over, isn't it? All right. Well, our paint is still wet, so this is a good time actually to just grab a pencil. And I say this all the time, but, you know, a lot of times I like to use my non-dominant hand. Why? Because it doesn't make the shapes so cliche. It's just, it's more raw, I guess, and maybe some more organic type of shapes. And, you know, because this paint is wet and you're etching into it, you can always take your finger and, you know, go over it, and like, you know, that you think, oh, I don't like that shape, but you still then do have some stuff to look forward to here, right? Like you cover some up, but some of it's still peeping out, and I just you know, love that. It's like this scraping into it. It's just such a gorgeous feel, honestly. And again, you know, how do you know how much to do here? Well, I would just say go again by your feel, by your intuition, and see how it looks. And sometimes if you really aren't sure, then you can always take a picture with your phone, can't you? Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that, because, you know, when this dries, we're gonna be adding probably a few little marks, just because we want to get a little bit of black in there. And I actually love this. I know it looks kind of messy, but I feel that this has a lot of energy in it, and I've really enjoyed making the marks, and, you know, the colors I love, and I love that the paper is peeping through, and I feel that this is really resonating with me. But maybe it's not your style. You know, maybe you have a completely different style, and that is just totally fine. Okay, I'm going to take my dryer. This is the time now, you guys, when you get to this space, you definitely want to dry it, because we want to start, you know, making marks on here, and it's just far too wet for that. So I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna just see if I can read some of that chat while I'm drying here, because otherwise it's kind of boring for you guys just to watch me dry. This is part of the live though, right? Oh, Amy, you're so sweet. I love this already. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Is it Carol Walters? Or Cecil Walters. I forget what your name is. Waters. I'm sorry, my dear. I know you. It just says C Waters there. Hold on. such lovely tones. Thank you. Carrie. Oh, Carrie. Oh, I'm so sorry, Carrie. Thank you. I know this is important for other people too, but I'm just going to let you guys know, for me, it's really important to make connection. I've been a teacher for a super long time, and the number one thing is to have a relationship and a connection. And so, oh, Carrie from Ontario. Yes. Okay. Yes. I know we've met, Carrie. Yes. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. But for me, just to connect with you is really important, because as a student, you know I want feedback from my teacher, and if I'm stuck or I need some help, or you just want to get some encouragement, or just get to know one another and create community, right? So for me, I really do love when you get in touch with me or send me messages and stuff, and some people are just so nice about it and so kind, and I appreciate it so much. Is there a name on the tube that I have? All right, do you mean this one, Delina? It's from Opus. Is that what you're talking about, this right here? That is a local brand, if that's what you mean, Delina. That is a local brand that I got from my local store. So I don't even know if Golden or Liquitex or whatever has the quinacridone gold. I just keep wanting to look it up, actually, and I'm just forgetting. And I'm still drawing because I have a big blob there. And I just read that someone's working with me. Yvonne, yeah. Yvonne is working with me. Awesome. How's it going, Yvonne? This is actually a good project to do side by side, because it's not that involved and it's not super fast. Oh, the tool I used. I'm sorry. I know. What is this? Let's see here. Okay. The name on the tool. Can you read that? Golden Artist Colors. Made in the USA. That's all I know. It says, yeah, it says Golden Artist Colors. There's a number on there. Holy mackerel. It's almost worn off. I don't even want to give you the number in case it's wrong. Okay. I'm note taking. Yeah, okay. Great, Joan. Great. Okay, I'm just going to move my camera a little bit. Okay. So I'm just, the chat's invisible to me now. Okay, so I'm just back to the table. That's still really, really wet, but I like it, and I'm going to leave it. And I'm sorry, I am going to just dry this a little bit more, because I don't want to ruin the page. And I know that you guys are actually so good at having just conversations amongst yourselves while artists are creating, and I love that. I love that so much, because we are here together. It's like I was saying yesterday, just imagine that we are here in the room, or not this room, but a room together, and we're creating together, and we're having this experience together, and I don't know, to me that just seems really, really nice. And yeah, sometimes you just want your quiet time, but generally I think just connection is really important, hey? Okay, it's still wet, so if you're doing this now with me, just do your best to try and dry it, and if you're doing this on the replay, well, just take your time. You might even just want to come back to it or do a few pages at once. I don't know. But it should be fine. It's not going to be the end of the world, I don't think. Okay, so I'm going to just come back to this fabric. We're going to totally talk about this after. But just to kind of jump ahead a little bit, the idea is we're going to adhere this fabric up at the top, and then underneath is something hidden. What's going to be hidden? Oh, it's going to be a surprise. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so just sort of like in the back of your mind, just think you've got this space here. So we're going to create some marks with a couple of pencils here. But you don't really need any marks in this area unless you want to. But under here, is going to be where we journal, and then we're gonna hide it. It's gonna be like a little hidden treasure. Okay, we're gonna hide it, and we'll talk about this whole piece, like I say, in a minute. So if some of your drawings or some of your marks go into it and underneath, you know, that's just totally fine. Not to be too fussy about it. Now, again, hopefully this is gonna take my pencils and stuff. You could use a charcoal pencil now to do some marks because it's really nice and dark and rich. You could use this, which is, I was showing this yesterday, I believe, wasn't it? The Staedtler Mars Lumograph, and it is an 8B, so it's nice and soft, and it makes nice dark marks. You could also use a Kimberly pencil, or you just could use a regular pencil too if you wanted to. Now, what kind of marks do you make? This is really up to you. You can make simple things like maybe I'll use this pencil, maybe little, you know, dots and things like that. Maybe circles and things just kind of lightly. You know, it doesn't have to be a lot of marks. It could be, you know, maybe you want to have, yeah, see, it's really, it's wet there still, hey, can you see that? Maybe you just want to have some, botanicals going up here. I do a lot of botanicals, and they don't have to be realistic. They don't, you know, they don't have to be beautiful and amazing. But, you know, it's your self-expression, right? It's just be authentically you. Just let that happen in there. I just added this little tiny baby charcoal pencil here because, you know, maybe we want it to be a bit darker. And if I was on my own and I wasn't doing this live and we didn't have a time crunch, you know, I would totally dry this more and this area here. But, you know, I can always go over it later too. So, yeah. But, you know, maybe you want to have something like that going on. Maybe there's just a little bit of roots or something there. I don't know. Just really light and really random. I don't want to say random, but not just really loose is what I'm trying to say, I guess, you know. And then maybe there's a shape that you see. You might want to do something about that shape. There's like some scribbly bits there. Maybe we'll add some more scribbles. What's going to come out of there? Well, maybe some more botanicals. Who knows? Okay. You could always put your fabric there and just refer to it like, okay, do I like it? Do I want to add anything there? Or you can just put it aside and just look at it as a whole, and that's totally fine too. And maybe you want some stuff coming up down from the top. Maybe I'm going a bit heavy-handed there, but that's okay. And maybe with our charcoal here, just random marks. Like, I'm not thinking this is anything. I just feel like I need a black there for the contrast. Okay. And maybe a little bit here. Just really rough little marks, like nothing, doesn't mean anything. I just want there to be some marks there. Okay. If you think you're done, and again, we can always come back here. If you think you're done, then sorry, I'm just going to interrupt myself by saying, you know, we can always add something after, right? If we feel like we want to. But now is a great time to do some gold. And I know we did a little bit of gold yesterday, but I think it's just going to be next level. And I love this contrast of this metallic with this rawness. Do you know what I mean? Like this piece of fabric here is a piece I eco-dyed with, I believe, some arbutus bark. And I still have to edit that one and put it on my YouTube channel, but it's all very, to me, earthy, and I am very much an earth person, and if you are too, you know, you'll relate to it. But then you add this bling on top of it, like it almost shouldn't go, but it just does, and it's crazy to me, and it just looks amazing. And in fact, actually, really, we could add some white, you know, Signo Uniball too. This is a Signo Uniball pen here. Trying to show you the name. It's in Japanese, so anyway, you probably have these already, and it's just dry enough for me to use it here. But be very careful, because oh gosh, you guys, I have wrecked so many of these because just too impatient. Wanted to keep going. Can you relate to that in any way? Yeah. Now, how do you know where to add the gold? If you choose to add the gold. If you really just don't want to add the gold, of course you don't have to. That's just fine, right? Okay, don't like that. And I, gosh, don't even have any water going here. That is crazy that I forgot some water. Okay. Just use your finger. That works too, you guys. Okay. I don't know. Just making a few little marks here. I think I might want a few little pencil marks here. So much less lighter, but maybe that corner just wants some dashes and some circles, and maybe not. Again, you know, when you're at this stage, you can always come back if you wanted to add more. Okay, let's talk about our fabric. Like, what should we call this? The flap, or the the cover that covers our little hidden treasure there. You know, whatever you want to call it. But let's decorate this guy up, and then we're gonna come back to it, and we're gonna adhere it. Okay, so I'm gonna try and just make sure everything is nice and centered here for us. It's hard for me to see on my screen, actually. Like, you wouldn't think that, but it's just the way it is set up is kind of a little bit funny. You know, and if I didn't have to wear glasses to read that chat, I could kind of read it better from time to time. I hope you guys are having fun, especially if you're playing along. Okay, yeah, we can use this side. All right, so what I've done here is just taken an acrylic block, and I've taken these various stamps. I do believe, oh, I was going to actually get the name for you here, and I put them away, which was totally silly. I do believe this is something with Oxford. Anyway, I can put that in the classroom if you're interested in these stamps. They're absolutely beautiful, and we're going to be using our black archival ink. There's lots of colors of archival ink, so if you don't want to go with black, you don't have to. There's some gorgeous, gorgeous colors, but I think like the black will just give it a little bit of pop. And this, of course, is from Ranger. I guess you could use other ink pads. Maybe it doesn't have to be archival, but I don't know. I think, like, for me, the archival works on here really well. Probably the VersaFine would work. Gee, you know, maybe even the VersaFine would work better. It just may, I don't know. Okay, now for me, I'm just gonna take this stamp thing that I created here. That's pretty cool, hey? It doesn't need to be perfect. Like, this one isn't perfect. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know, try not to get too precious about it. It doesn't have to be so perfect. You could take one stamp and go all over. You could take one large stamp and just go with your large stamp like that. I've just taken some two-sided tape and just taped these on here. You can probably see that, hey? Just to hold them on, because they just fall off. So the stamping part really is whatever you want it to be. You know, it really, really is. Maybe you just want to put one image right in the middle. I mean, it's up to you. Now, what do you do for fabric? As I said, I have eco-dyed this. You don't have to use eco-dyed. If you're really doing a lot of color, you know, maybe you just want to have something colorful going on there. I don't know. Make it yours, but I would say try not to use too thick of a fabric, because we are putting this in our art journal and we have to close the thing eventually. So we try and do some thinner type of layers here, okay? How are you liking the look of it? I'm gonna do this one upside down, you know, just to change it up a little bit. And you'll notice I'm just stamping right off the fabric. Okay, so getting back to the fabric now, what fabric do you use? I would say use a cotton fabric, a thin cotton fabric, because you know, it just works well. It just works well. You know, if you don't have that, you can use a cotton muslin of some sort, or an old bed sheet. I mean, you know, I don't know what you've got in your stash, but it doesn't have to be anything fancy, that is for sure. And I totally can't find my proper stamp cleaner, and I want to make sure he takes his time to clean my stamp. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit anal that way about my stamps. I do like to clean them up, and I guess that is just good practice anyway, right? Okay. So once you've figured out your fabric and you've stamped on it, now you can think, well, you know, what am I going to add to this? Because we're going to have it here. It's maybe a little bit busy for what is around here. Well, if you think it is, you can always cover this over with paint, some of this stuff. But we'll cover some of this up. So it's going to add something to this. So it's, you know, it's got some interest going on there. And this is really, you know, where you get to use your creativity here. You know, for example, we could use doilies. We could put some doilies on there. I've got this, again, this is eco-dyed macrame cord that I started to tear apart, but we could use that. You might want to stitch or adhere some ribbon or some tassels or something like that on the bottom. I've got some feathers here, just little baby ones, but they're really flat, so they're good. And those are feathers that I found. I had this corduroy thing that I just cut this piece off of, I guess this way. I don't even know what this is from. I think I got something at the thrift store. Oh, I know, I got something at the thrift store, and I was using it for weaving, and so I could use this little piece. Maybe we'll come back to that part, I don't know. You know, maybe some washi tape. Well, maybe you want to add a little bit of denim in there. This is totally up to you, and again, it really depends on what you have in your stash. But for me, and I would maybe suggest this for you too, again, it's up to you, like what you have in your stash, is to create some kind of a focal point for like a little bundle almost there. And I don't know if this is going to work, but let's just see. This is from, I want to say, a Bella Grace magazine. That might work. Failing that, I've got a copy here of my Oma's writing from a cookbook, from her cookbook that I discovered. So maybe we like that, you know, maybe we'll do a little bit of both. Why not, right? Just a little bit of layering, a little bit of collage. You could use an old slide, if that is interesting to you. You know, just kind of changing it up for you. You know, this is, like I say, this is really just really what you want it to be here. I'm just giving you a few little examples of something that is possible. I also have this was a coffee filter that I painted up like a really long time ago, actually a super long time ago. Gosh, you know, Kasha, I actually think maybe I even did that with you. Huh. like super long time. Not with you, but maybe it was one of your classes or something. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. And so, you know, how do you organize what you've got here? Well, that's a good question. How do you? I would just say layer some of the things that you love. Make a little kind of a bundle of some sort in the middle and try not to make it too thick. Now I realize, you know, this corduroy with this metal button is a little bit thick here. It is a little bit thick, but I just kind of like it. I just kind of like it. And maybe, you know, maybe you will add some doily, like this is already cut up, so it doesn't matter if I cut a bit more and just see, you know, just see, like, does that do anything for us? Maybe it's just too much. Maybe it's just not too much, you know. Maybe we don't even have this slide on here. Maybe we just sort of do something like that. I don't know. What do you think? This for me is really such a fun thing to do, is make these little bundles. I do it a lot in my mixed media. And like that little piece I cut off, maybe, you know, maybe we just do something like super simple like that. Maybe that's it. It's kind of wonky, sticking out, not perfect. Maybe it doesn't matter. Or maybe we can still add that. Okay, that's it. Now, if you are enjoying where you're at there, I would say take a picture so you remember where all your things are. I can't do that right now because I'm using my phone, as you know. So I'm just gonna see if I can remember where I put everything. I don't know, you know, does this happen to you? Like, I take pictures of things and I go to adhere them. I still don't do it the way I had it. It's just the way it happens. All right. So let's not adhere this though, because we have a little surprise for that one, okay? How do you adhere this? For me, I mean, I can use this gel medium, it works fine. You can stitch it, you can glue it. It's really kind of what you want. It's gonna obviously take a little bit for this gel medium to dry, but it will dry, it really will, and you don't have to worry about it. If you are doing this sort of like after the fact, you can run a sewing machine over it and stitch it on, hand stitch it. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have time to hand stitch it, so we'll just do it like that, really fast. Okay, I hope you guys are liking this, and I'm gonna have to speed it up now because I'm looking at the time. And it's hard because when you're filming, you can fast forward through a lot of things. And when you're live, you know, you want to be able to express what you're thinking so that it helps you out to know maybe what I'm thinking, and it might spark something in you, like, you know, just spark some kind of inspiration, basically. You know what I mean? Okay. So this one, I'm going to put a big giant blob on there. Okay. So again, I say it might be a bit thick, but that's my choice. You don't have to go thick like this, for sure. Okay, so let's just put that aside for now. Now, we've got these feathers, and we've got this. So how are we going to attach that? Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about fibers, because I love to use fibers in my mixed media art, and so that's why I'm, you know, using this fabric and stuff, because it just gives us a whole other element, doesn't it? Like sometimes all we want to do is play with paint, but sometimes we want to change it up. So let's change it up today. Let's just quickly stitch this on, and this is where you can decide if you're going to go monochromatic again, or you're going to have a little pop of color. So we have that, which I think looks fabulous. Green also, yellow, Or that one. I think I'll go with the pink. Maybe you have a different color you'd like. It's up to you. And how thick do you go here with your thread? Really? Doesn't matter. You can go all 6 strands of this embroidery floss, or you can go 3 or 2. I think there's 3 in here. So this is going to be super not fancy. Not at all. Because, well, A, I don't have time, but B, it's not really that kind of a page, is it? It's just not that kind of a page. It could be if you wanted it to be. It's totally up to you. All right. So super fast here. I'm just going to go like down and up and down and up, just to add another fiber on there and another color and another texture, and it really adds to the interest, and I don't know, I just really like it. Okay. Sorry, I was going all over the place here. Yeah. Okay, not at all even stitches. Maybe that's part of the charm, right? Actually, I do like it. I used to be a heavy duty, you know, embroidery person like years and years ago, and of course everything would have to be perfect. So it's quite liberating to be able to really kind of do what you want here. I have to say that. It feels good. It's fun. Okay, I'm just gonna go around the back real fast. Guys, I hope you've had such a good weekend. I hope you've had people in your family who've let you just be with what you need to do here this weekend, you know? Okay, so just a little bit of stitching there. I'm gonna just hold it up in case. There, okay. And the feathers are always just tricky, I think, anyway, they are. I'm going to wrap these feathers with this floss. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as we can hold them together, you know, and then we can stitch them on or we can glue them on. So it's really kind of your choice if you're using feathers. And I just super quickly, if you missed that, I just really quickly just wrap the floss around that. You know what? I am gonna stitch this on, I think, just because I would glue it actually if it was just me, but I want to be able to flip this up and down for you to see. So I think I'll stitch it on, otherwise it's just gonna fall right off. Okay. Guys, you know, we're almost done. We're just gonna adhere this super easy and quick. Now, if you have time and this project is really resonating with you, you could totally go bigger. Like you could do this next level, couldn't you? Like you could add, oh my gosh, hello, get in there. Sorry. You could really add more here. What was the point? I was sorry. I had a point. I actually did have a point. You could go bigger, and oh, I know what it's going to say now. You could do more stitching. Is what I wanted to say on this fabric here. Okay, you could do more stitching. I'm going to come up. I'll try to come up. There's a few things in the way. And then just tie knot. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. Okay. You can decide if you want to leave those, you know, threads hanging down. Okay, the feathers are a bit wonky, but I can always adhere them later just so they do stay there. All right. So now, what do you think of that? I hope you like it. More importantly, I hope you like it. when you go to create it. You could stitch this, you could glue this, you could whatever. You could also just staple it. So we're adding some more gold. Another metallic element. You might not like the look of the staples, that's okay. Maybe in some places you want to staple it more than once. Just make it look different, not too cliche. So now, ooh, it's a very visceral thing when you go to journal and when you look back through your journal. It's going to be a very visceral thing to look at this page and then flip it open, isn't it? It's going to be like there's things to feel. It's tactile, and this whole motion of turning that. Now, you don't have to have yours going this way. You might want to have it going this way. Maybe you want yours the whole page. Really, it's up to you, okay? Just make it your own when you go to do this project. Let's do a little bit of journaling here in this area. If it's very, very, very dry, you could use archival pen. I'm not trusting that for me right this moment because I don't want to wreck my pen. But you could use this one again. I was talking about the Staedtler. You could use a Kimberly pencil. I'm just going to use a Kimberly pencil, I think, right now. And what do we journal about? Well, I've given you some ideas in the PDF. But it's something about that you're hiding under here. Not that it's a secret or anything, but it's about a treasure in your heart and in your being. Like, what do you treasure? Like, we're talking non-material things, right? So what treasure really fulfills and delights you? What brings you light and love? What are the things that you treasure that you want to keep to yourself or that you never told anyone? So maybe it's something that you treasure, but it's just kind of within you. Maybe you don't want to share it. Not a secret. Or maybe it's just like, this is what I treasure. I actually just treasure this time this weekend that I've had to, you know, get creative. Maybe I treasure my family. Maybe I don't know what it is for you. I'm going to just journal quickly here because I'm looking at the time. But I do want to take the time to do this with you because then you can see what the final project looks like. And I'm going to just write, I think, on what I treasure, as in what am I super grateful for, okay? This is not rehearsed. I'm just doing this as I feel right now, okay? Just so you know that. And there's my little treasure box. Okay, obviously it's not a treasure box, but it's a hidden treasure. Like, those are the things probably I treasure the most my entire life at this moment. And there they are, and they're kept there. and they're special, and I've created something special for it and around it, and I've actually really loved this project, I have to say. And I really hope you give it a go as well. And I'm gonna just turn this camera around just because we have a few minutes. I'd like to see you. Just give me a second here. Okay, take my glasses off. Hi. Amy, thank you. This means so much. It feels good. Yes, to me it does feel special also. And just to give the project some something a little extra. Give your art journal a little bit extra, because it doesn't have to only be collaging with paper and paint, does it? Like, we can add other things into our journal. And also, if you like this page and you thought it was too bulky for your journal, you can always take it out and put it into a frame. You can get a frame from the thrift shop, and if you don't like the color, just spray paint it white or black and stick it in a little frame. You can also do that as well. Oh, Shannon. Oh, Shannon. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh, thank you so much saying you love my work. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Yes, so nice to find you. And it's beautiful, but I would not try it. Oh, thank you, Wendy. What a nice thing to say. Yes, Wendy, I do definitely hope you give it a go. Absolutely. Oh, Linda, thank you so much. Yes, I'm so glad that you were relaxed. It is very relaxing to make, I have to say. It's just such a beautiful journey to put yourself on. Yeah, Yvonne, beautiful. Oh, thank you, Yvonne, saying I'm so inspiring. That just, you know, it just makes my day to hear that, because this is what I do, why I do it, to help give you guys tools to inspire you and to help you on your own journey through your art and your life. And so just to know that, you know, it's resonating with some of you, it just honestly, it's why I do what I do, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rainy Day Makers. Thank you. Oh, you guys, you're just the best. Oh. I'm so excited to see you and connect with you in Wanderlust. It's gonna be here before we know it. You know, it's just such a fantastic year. Such a fantastic year. Yes, Amy, I'm so looking forward to it. Yes, working together through Wanderlust. Absolutely. Oh, you guys, you're so welcome. You're so kind to me. Really just means so much to me. Thank you for joining me today. And if you are watching the recording, then also thank you for taking time to hang out with me. And I just hope you guys have an awesome week or month of creating. And I hope to see you in Wanderlust. And if you haven't taken the plunge, I think the link is hopefully under this video. Is it, Amy? And you can register, because I think we still have those $99 ones left, don't we? Okay, I see our time is about to end. We got to get ready for the quiz, you guys. So come on. Meditative process. Yes, Kasha, I'm staying for the quiz. I'll be there, girl. Okay, I'm going to sign off because we only have a couple minutes. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. I will see you in the classroom, or see you soon, or see you on social media. Bye.